But I don't know what else to say about Cannibal Corpse. Cannibal Corpse, pretty much most everybody knows the name Cannibal Corpse. Even if you don't know anything about death metal, you can at least name the name Cannibal Corpse. You've at least heard it. Even if you never heard a song by them, you at least know the name.
If you don't
If
know
you've at
Cannibal
least
Corpse,
seen somebody wearing one of their T-shirts.
if no one knows Cannibal Corpse, then you need to do something with your life. Honestly, this is two things you should do: either kill yourself, and that's good advice, or or listen to them and become a great fan of theirs. And yeah, that's I shouldn't be encouraging people to kill themselves. It's pretty bad, really. If anyone kills themselves, not my fault. No. But yeah,
It's a joke, 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 joke.
it's a
Anyways,
joke.
I'll
It
move on
is.
to my pick
Go
from.
go for it.
All right, number six. This is from another band who hadn't had a record out in a long time, and like they had a record out in so long, and all their records they have put out have been amazing. But this has definitely been a comeback year for a lot of bands, and this band made a major comeback. I didn't think this album would be as good as some of their previous works. I'm like, yeah, they haven't put out an album in so long. Live, this band's not so good live. Like I can tell you that. Oh, but the albums themselves are fucking amazing. Seeing them live, I would have to take a pass. I've seen them once. Um, Nothing really impressive. Actually, they actually slowed down a few of their songs, but live. We're not talking about live. We're talking about this record, this amazing record from At the Gates with At War with Reality. Now, this record is just as good as I would put it right up there with Slaughter of the Soul. Slaughter of the Soul is an amazing death metal record, probably one of my top 10 picks for death metal records of all time. And At the Gates are just one of those bands, that a lot of bands try to imitate. They try to imitate that At the Gates, especially a lot of the very generic metalcore bands. They try to imitate that fucking sound, that Swedish death metal sound, but it just doesn't come off right. They're one of the original. I'm not saying they are the originators. I'm saying they one of the originators. So listen correctly when I say one of, because these guys are amazing musicians, and these guys pull off very well. And this is definitely a death metal record of the year, and it definitely comes in at number six, as just straight up, death metal, Swedish death metal, you know, it's definitely one of the best.
What does it
It's
make you feel when
melodic.
you listen to it?
It's
Then
it's melodic. It's brutal. It's fucking thrashy. It's got every element you could want to hear in a Swedish death metal record. All right, and the number five will come to you with.
it's Skullfist and pretty good, and it's a Skullfist album, Chasing the Dream. And the reason why I like this and why it's fifth is because I'm one of these people that is very biased, and I'm going to admit that. I love this album because it's a personal thing to me, and I think that because I was listening to this album when it first came out, because this came out early in 2014, so I've been going back to it every now and again, and it's grown on me, and I think that's what it is, because I've been listening to it a lot and it's grown on me, that it's high, because there's that, you know, kind of memory kind of thing, like there's memories of when I was listening to it and it helped me in ways, got my mind of things in, times in my life this year, and it's just been one of them personal albums really to me, and that is why it's rated like number five. It's great heavy metal. It's going for that old school feel. I really like the vocalist. I don't really like many vocalists that go for that, that power metal kind of heavy old school. You get these power metal that all try and copy Rob Halford, but they sound really annoying.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. That's the reason I really can't get much into power metal. There's a few bands here or there that I do like that are power metal. but most part, it's probably my absolute one of my least favorite genres of metal. It's actually it's right there like as far as like least favorite, it goes like metalcore, like power metal. I'm sorry, it's the those bands are always just kind of like a hit or miss with me. It's like okay, most of the time it's a miss.
Well, it's like heavy metal. This isn't power metal, but I'm trying to say, like, vocal wise, really,
Yeah.
and it's not going for that, all the time. He's got his own vocal kind of style, and he goes for them kind of highs at parts, but they're really good actually. I actually get into it, and yeah, it's just a standard heavy metal album to me. Well, to you, but to me, it's going to because it's personal, more of a personalized album to me. So that has a different value. So that's why it's high, really, because it means something more to me, and I just really like it. And yeah, that's basically it.
Okay, and my number five comes from my absolute favorite brutal death metal band. And this record is no exception. You hear this record, you just want to fucking slam and just fucking hit somebody in the face, and it's just so awesome and just it's just so amazing. This record actually all their music just like so fucking just slamming and brutal, and this is absolutely my favorite brutal death metal band. You know, this band, words cannot describe the awesomeness that is Pathology with Throne of Rain. This album from start to finish is just in your face. Literally, it's like somebody just punched you right in your face. It just words cannot describe this awesomeness. You have to listen to the record. It's amazingly brutal from start to finish. It's not, you don't want to skip a single track on this record. It's just so good. It's I I just can't express that one enough. This is definitely by far the best brutal death metal album of the year.
So if you were, let's say, having sex, would you then start punching and beating the shit into your partner while having sex because it's that brutal?
Oh, good. But Pathology is a band that's never disappointed me with a single record. I love all their records. Great fucking slamming brutalness. They crank it. They don't just crank it to 10. They crank it to 11. That's a joke for some of you people. Some of you people will probably get it.
I didn't get it, but
Okay. Or anyways, but yeah, Pathology is a fucking band. Amazing brutal death metal, amazing fucking slamming. And this record, they not so much slamming. I mean, there's still some slamming parts in there, but they focus more on being brutal death metal for this record. Some records, they're absolutely perfect with the mix between the slam and the brutality. This is just straight up brutal in your face. Punch to your gut. I'd say it's definitely record. It's awesome. And let's move right along to number 4.
Alright, so this actually is a well-known band, and they are one of the first bands that I got into that were considered to me at the time pretty heavy, because the heaviest at the time I was probably listening to was Slayer, and that was back in like school, and then I heard of these, and they've grown on me quite a lot, especially this last year. I've been like listening to them a lot more, and it's Machine Head, Bloodstone, and Diamonds. I do think the album is like flopped compared to the other ones in ways, because the Blackening and Unto the Locust, they really demonstrated their skill as musicians, and show that they can, they can do something different, because they're doing all that new metal and that sort of stuff, and then they come out with the Blackening and they come out with Unto the Locust, and it's just insane. It's like,
yeah,
that's
it's a record I didn't get around to listening to. You know.
There were some
So,
parts that were really shit, but then like there were some songs that just made you forget about the ones that were shit. So, but Beneath the Silts, I quite like because it's like slow, it's got clean vocals and heavy vocals, but he goes from the cleans, working his way up to these heavy vocals, and it's really good. And at one point, he's singing really well in these aggressive vocals at the same time, and I'm like, how is he doing this? It's like a vocal style, and then what I just like about Beneath the Silts is just the way it builds up, and just it's one of them songs that you can just listen to on like, let's say you're traveling in a bus like I was doing when I was going to college and back from college, and you've had a shitty day because you've been doing 13 hours and you're around shitty teachers and people that you just want to punch in the face because you hate them so much. And then you just put that on and it relaxes you. It makes you feel good about yourself and it makes you forget about all that crap that you've had to deal with. And that is, an example of my life. So I've let you in my life for a little bit. And then there's this one, Killer of Kings, I think it's called, something like that. The riff reminds me of the riff from The Blackening from Halo, and I
yeah.
just like that riff, like the way that they do that thing with the guitar, and it just sounds awesome, and I just like that heavy, everyone loves heaviness, and if you don't, then there's something wrong with you, and you need to see a psychiatrist. Uh, or you should go to a mental asylum because you're just not right in the head, and that's a fair thing to say, That's
All right.
yeah,
And
Machine Head. That'll do for that. Just check it out. It's a great album. There are some tracks you won't like I didn't. But then you listen to the others and you just think, all right then, forget about
yeah,
it.
so the good outweighs the bad. So
Indeed, indeed.
okay, it's still a good record,
Yeah, it's still a good
nonetheless.
record.
Yeah. All right, moving right along to my number 4. This is yet again a lot of these bands. This list have fucking been bands I've been listening to for a very long time. That's majority of this list. There's a few bands list I just recently got into, but this is definitely one band I've been listening to. I own pretty much almost every record from this band. I think I'm only missing like one or two records, and they've got like an insane catalog out there. It's a band that never disappoint. You know, with any of their releases. Um, it was I think it was two records before this one. They had two songs that I literally could not stop listening to. I was like track 3 and 4 on the record, and as soon as I couldn't get past track 3 and 4 because it was so fucking good. Not this record, but this record is fucking amazing, start to finish too. But it's definitely that record was probably, you know, it's just like track 3 or 4. I just can't describe it. It was like you hear because they both kind of go together. Like track 3 is kind of the build up for track 4. So they kind of go together. So that's why you have to. Okay, you're like, all right, I got to go back and listen again, and I'm like, okay, maybe I can get through this time. Nope, nope. Okay, all right, try again. TD, let's do it again. Literally, I'm not even lying. It took me like 3 or 4 days to just get past track 3 and 4 because they were so fucking good. But this is a band they never have disappointed me. They always put out quality black metal. They're definitely, arguably, probably, I definitely would put them within like the top, 15 of my favorite, black metal bands of all time. They're definitely the top, if not almost top 10. They have a solid catalog, and this new album is no exception. If you like black metal and you haven't heard the band Enthroned, please go listen to them right now. Just stop the video. Stop it. I won't blame you. Go stop it. Go listen to Enthroned right now. Go listen to their entire catalog. Go now.
Listen! Or I will
I'm
get
ready
you, I
to!
will hunt you down, and I will smash you in the
The,
face
al-
with my fist.
the album's called Sovereigns, and they actually gave a pre-release of the album, and I was curious. I'm like, all right, fuck it. I want to hear it, but I don't want to hear it. I want to wait till it actually gets released. And then like I heard a little bit of it, and I heard just enough where I'm just like, oh yeah, this is gonna be an insanely good record. Sure enough, I was correct. The record came out, amazing, mind-blowing stuff in here. And Throne is always one of those bands who always knows how to fucking do it right. You know, they've been out for ages and ages and ages. You know, I love Enthroned. You know, they're awesome, amazing. You know, just the stuff they do is just mind blowing sometimes. You know, it's a record that you're going to want to listen to over and over and over. With there being so much stuff in the record that's just going on, you're not going to be able to catch everything within the first 2 or 3 listens. You're going to have to listen to it at least 4, 5, 6 to 10 times to really capture everything and capture the full essence. You really have to focus on the record. You can't have this be like some background noise, you know, some shit. No, this is a record you want to sit down, you want to focus on, and it's amazing. There's no other words to describe it. So, anyways,
next one.
Yeah, this one's the next
okay.
one, but I gotta piss. God damn it.
Right, we're back, and the screen's been stupid. You can see me now. Hello. Alright, no, I don't need to do that. Alright, so
we're moving on to number 3.
Number 3, which is like a number 1 and a number 2 together. So you have a piss and you have a shit. And no, I'm not. I'm gonna like, jokes aside. Let's get straight into this because this is a really good album. I really am like. I really wanted to talk about this because it's just like, God, it's so fucking evil. Alright, Indian from all purity. Did you listen to this, by the way, dude?
No, I didn't get a chance to listen to it.
Alright, so basically, it's evil. It's doom with its own style. The vocals just basically sound like the guy's just. It's like a demon that's on fucking crack. You know, he's
smoke crack, worship Satan.
It's fucking amazing. It's just like, how does a band sound so evil? You know,
very carefully.
It's each track is pretty long. They do drag on, and that's what I love about it because it's like this long, dull, dismal.
That's doom. So.
Yeah, I know, but like. This is just like fucking amazing because it's like most Doom bores the shit out of me. I'm there like, oh, I can't wait to fucking kill myself. But this makes me like, oh, fucking. I feel like basically when I'm listening to it, I feel like I'm in hell, but hell's a happy place, and there's like butterflies. And they have these evil red eyes, but they've got a blunt, and they're offering me some weed, and we're just hanging out, and and that's what this does to me. It takes me into my own world, and if you want that feeling, you want that buzz, good drug this is. Just listen to this. You don't need like any of this, you know, these drugs that people have. You don't need fucking. You know, ecstasy, LSD. You don't need any of that shit. You know, just listen to Indian, and you're all good. You know, let it take you to, you know, this magical, wonderful, evil, dark place. But if don't let your kid listen to it because they'd have fucking nightmares and they'd be scared shitless. But.
It's a perfect record to let children listen to.
Yeah, I'm gonna like my 2-year-old niece. I'm gonna get her this for her birthday. You know, but yeah, go on, dude. What is your number 3?
My number 3 actually initially was my number 1. Initially was until I heard these other few records, and then I'm like, I was really arguing. It's like really debating. I was like, "Oh my god, this is an amazing record," you know, from the band. They've had not all of their albums are great, you know, but this album, new album from them, is just as good as De Mysterious, which is very, very hard. It's one of the best records, D Mysterious, in case you don't know who the band is by now, you will know it's Mayhem. But their new album, Static Warfare, is amazing. What they do on this record is truly amazing. They have thrown a lot of progressive elements in this record. It's every song is amazing. It's just that's why I was debating. This was initially my number one, but dun dun dun. These other records kind of beat it out. These other records I felt like were a little bit stronger than this, but this is an amazing record. This is almost my black metal record of the year, and almost my record of the year. It's definitely not my black metal record of the year because I have other albums on top of this. But Mayhem's one of those bands that have stood the test of time. They've tried different things. They've gone through hell and back. The story of Mayhem. We could sit there, talk about the story of Mayhem and it would take hours. So I highly recommend, if you don't know anything on Mayhem, watch the documentary on Mayhem. They are a fucking insane band.
We got time to talk about it. Let's talk about that.
This video's gonna be like 9 hours long, alright? They're sitting there talking about Mayhem, alright? We could do that for fucking 9 hours, but yeah, Mayhem with their last record, I know a lot of people didn't like their last record. I actually liked it. I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was a top tier of their albums, but I felt like it was a good record, and their record before that was fucking good too. Their last really good record that I really liked a lot was the Chimera record. That's got all my favorite tracks in there. And from that, but pretty much it'd be like D Mysterious and Chimera. Those would be my personal favorites, and of course Death Crush. But this new album, just as good as D Mysterious. So if you've been maybe you threw Mayhem to the side, you're like, because they were doing all sorts of crazy off the wall shit, how they even try to do industrial for one of their albums. Now I personally I even like that record also. Grand Declaration of War, I like that record as well. They're throwing some industrial elements in there as well. They're trying different things. So maybe one of those people who maybe you like D Mysterious and you like Death Crush and shit like that, you need to check out this new record if you haven't. Highly recommend it. I can't recommend it enough. It's amazing. So without further ado, let's move on to number 2.
Okay, so number 2, that is when you literally have a shit. But this isn't shit. This is the shit. So this is Septic Flesh Titan. And some people have pronounced this Titan. This has nothing to do with the female breasts. Nothing to do with tits. People pronounce it Titan. Who pronounced Titan? It's Titan, yeah. How can you pronounce this Titan?
It's called Titan. It's another record I haven't got around to listening to. Unfortunately,
Whoever pronounced this Titan, you need to learn what your language properly. But if it's your second language, fair enough to you. You're doing well. You're not doing too bad. But Septic Flesh Titan. All right, not Titan. Sorry, I've heard so many people say Titan. It's just stupid. But Septic Flesh Titan is like, it just basically showcases anger, beauty, and at the same time, like, you kind of feel like you're listening to death metal, but then you kind of feel like you're listening to an orchestra, because they've got like these orchestral like elements in it, and it's like, that's what I really
like a symphonic black metal element.
It's really hard to explain. Really, you kind of have to listen to it yourself. It's like old school classical orchestral, but it's like, it sounds evil, and then obviously the guitar and the vocals and everything sound evil. And I just love this album that much that, I was literally using this as porn. This was what I was, I didn't go on the internet to look for anything for days. I was on this. I just thought, I'll load up some Septic Flesh and I'll get my rocks off, to this. And that's what I did for many days. So that this, if you want to, release the goods, you want to get rid of, what's been building up inside you, this is the album to do it over. It's the album to masturbate over. It's the album to kill innocent children over. And
play some hatred and listen to this album. Sounds like a good combo.
it is. It's pretty good. Yeah, I just
maybe play some Postal and piss on some dead bodies. Piss on some preachers, set them on fire. Yeah,
come on them too. Take a shit on them.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that in Postal.
Oh, I wish you could like shit on them.
You can piss on people.
What you bum on their head?
Set them on fire.
Set it on fire and then take the flames out with your piss.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you do.
Yeah, be good.
Postal 2 is awesome.
But yeah.